Hello and welcome to my Backgammon channel. In today's short lesson, I want to talk to you about stuplication. Now, this concept I first learned about in a lecture from top American player Steve Sachs. And I'm going to explain it to you today, showing you some positions. Now, before we get there, let's look at this cycle. Now, backgammon is as much a game of unlearning as it is a game of learning. So when you first start out in backgammon, you will learn some of the key concepts such as flexibility, connectivity, making the 5 point, not stripping your mid. But then the more you play, you realise that, like everything in backgammon, rules are not 100%. They are not set in stone, and sometimes you have to break them. You have to bend the concepts depending on your position. So we unlearn what we've learned and then we relearn it again with a new, deeper, more kind of holistic understanding. So duplication is something that is one of the foundational concepts, but duplication is not always correct. Let's start and look at the positions. Now here you can see two ways to play a 4-5 for white. So the correct move is on the left hand side. On the right hand side, white has tried to duplicate freeze for green by playing 20 to 15 and 8 to 4. Now this looks like a cool move and he follows the principles of duplication. So green would need a 3 to hit us from the 24 point and also a 3 to hit us from the midpoint. So it looks pretty cool. On the left hand side, we are not using the duplication. We are merely playing 20 to 11. Here, however, the duplication play is wrong. And why is that? Why is this concept of duplication that we're told in all the great books to use, to watch out for overboard, why is it incorrect? Well, the first instance is that it's better simply to play with one blot rather than two blots. So we don't want our checkers strewn across the board. We don't want blots on both sides of the board. Secondly, we are ahead in the race by 20 pips. So having two blots, we might get hit twice. Green, of course, could roll a double 3 here, or he could hit us once. We could dance with a double 6. And the other checker could be picked up, and then we would lose our race lead. And the third point to bear in mind is, where do we want to be hit from by our opponent? So here, the correct move on the left hand side, playing 20 to 11, if green hits us with a 6, he's going to have to sacrifice the anchor, the golden anchor. So here, by hitting us, green has to break his own anchor and expose blots himself. Whereas with a duplication play on the right hand side, green is happy to hit us with the blot and move forward. So as much as a duplication play looks pretty, it's simply wrong and it leaves us too vulnerable and we're not getting green to break key points. So always think, where do you want to be hit by your opponent when you are leaving blots around the board? Now we're going to look at some positions. So how would you choose to play 5-2 here as white? So this is a money game. Now if we look at the initial position on the left hand side, it looks right to play 5-2 to end up in the position on the right by playing 11 to 9 and 11 to 6. And it looks right because we're duplicating 5s. Green would need a 5 to hit us off the anchor and also a 5 to close the 6 point on his board. So again, this follows one of the key concepts of duplication. However, this move is a very big blunder, and it's simply correct just to play 8 to 1. 11 to 9, 11 to 6, you can see on the panel on the left, is in red. So it is a big blunder to make that. And why is that? Well, again, we are slightly ahead in the race, so just play quietly. Why give the opponent the advantage with a 5 to hit and also escape at the same time? Green is also inflexible with many stripped points and is likely to leave a shot anyhow in the future. So it's much better to play 8 to 1. By playing 11 to 9, 11 to 5, yes, we duplicate the 5, but also we lose a lot of outfield control, and green 6s would play much better. So do not be tricked by the duplication of 5s here. We do not want to get hit, dance, and then face a cube. Just play 8 to 1 and bury that checker. Even though another rule, do not bury checkers. Break the rule, unlearn it, and do the right thing here. Anything else is a mistake. Position 2, white to play 4-1. Notice that green is on the bar. How would you play 4-1? So here we have the initial position on the left. And then on the right, we've made the move. So we've played 17 to 13, and then we've hit 3 to 2. So why have we done this? Well, we've done it to duplicate 2s. So here, green would need a 2 to enter, and also a 2 to hit us on the 13. So here, the thinking was, great, unless green rolls a double 2, we're pretty good here. However, it is the wrong thinking. So it's much better to switch from the 6 to the 2 and make the 2 point. So why is this? Well, staying back on the 17 point as white in the outfield simply generates more shots. It allows us to pick up more of green's blots while he's struggling to bring those 2 checkers in. Also, with a big race lead, we're 47 pips up, we would prefer green to enter on the 6 point and then leave rather than enter on the 2 point and have more contact value. Now, by the Stuplication play, we only have 5s as well to cover the blot, which also hits on the 8 point. So if we were to play 17 to 13, 3 to 2, you can see how the 5 is a cover for our home board, but also the 5 is also a hitting number from the mid. Now the top play, which you can see here, has actually a better duplication of 6s. So green would hit with a 6, but also hit us in the outfield. And of course, double 6 is a good racing number anyhow. So some duplications are better than other duplications, but some are stuplications. And David Presser, the top Israeli player, recently said in a talk on YouTube that duplication is overrated. It's a secondary concern. And he looked at this cube decision, which was taken from one of his matches. Now here, it's a clear double pass. But green took this cube because they thought, wow, white's 4s are duplicated, so how bad can it be? White needs a 4 to hit me on the 9, and also a 4 to hit on the 4. So it must be a take. But it's a very big pass because you're just going to get picked and passed. You're going to get hit. Drop the cube. as Roberti said, if you have to be lucky, then it's probably a pass. So we learn duplication, but duplication is not always the answer, and sometimes it is in fact stuplication. I hope some of these positions have brought that concept home and the value of the cycle of unlearning and learning. Once you make that shift in your thinking, then you will improve rapidly. I wish you all the best. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. See you next Wednesday. Goodbye.